Hi guys, good morning everyone. My name is Alex Idowu, CTO of PipeOps. I was first a software engineer before life shifted me into different places, and I found myself doing DevOps, you know, for like 7 years now. But I've been a DevOps engineer for like quite a number of time. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, fun fact about me, I I love doing heavy work at night. I I hate going out most of the times. So, man, yes. Thank you. So today I'll be speaking on advent of no code, the new era of automation in DevOps. Uh, so what is no code automation basically? No code automation is when you automate, your tasks using any form of visual interface, drag and drop tools without any coding skills. And one of the interesting facts about no code is it enables non-technical and both technical users to easily automate all their tasks, right? It can be used for building, testing, deploying, and monitoring all sorts of apps. So now let's go back to some history on how things were before no code. So back in the 90s, right, we had tools like CFE engines, Ansible and the likes that DevOps engineers do have to use, right, to automate all their routine tasks. But this, kind of sort of creates an avenue where, sysadmin guys have to now switch to DevOps role. And a lot of people do see DevOps as a big deal, right? And also in DevOps, it's very hard. Collaboration is mostly very hard at times, especially when the team is about to get large or for a startup who is looking to scale, right? And this is where no code comes in. Now, before we go deeper, right? We have some tools, right, that we're all familiar with today, and that's what we all use to, provision on all these popular cloud infrastructure like GCP and AWS. We have the likes of Terraform, Pulumi, and Cloud Formation. With Terraform comes a new learning curve, whereby DevOps engineers now have to go and master Terraform, how to use Cloud Formation, how to write Cloud Formation, how to write Pulumi. Everybody is doing IAC now, but still, that still brings about some set of limitations within the team, within the ecosystem. DevOps engineers and non technical members cannot easily communicate and easily relate on the level they're supposed to work on. So, DevOps is like an isolated thing to them because of the complexity. Let's not lie to ourselves. But this is what changes everything. This is how no code is changing the game. Let's talk about the quick benefits of no code automation in DevOps. This increased efficiency, right? Unlike no code, unlike the normal approach, when you want to provision on AWS, first of all, think of the infrastructure. For instance, how will I do this? Do that. Take you about 2, 3 days. You figure it out, provision it. And we with no code now, it reduces the time, right? I'm going to show you guys a quick demo of how easy it is to use PipeOps, the no code tool, to easily provision the infrastructure cost. Unlike you having to figure out the whole code, there's already something pre-configured for you. You just need to select your rules and do with your deployment. And then this is also going to reduce errors, right? Because with it's safe to say that human errors is allowed when it comes to when we're constantly shipping out things, right, and want to ship out fast, and there might be some error that we overlook, right, and can cause like a big issue for us on production, and we don't want that. With no code, we'll be able to reduce this. No code will improve collaborations. This will enable both the non-technical founders to easily come together and say, oh, okay, this is the server I want to provision. What's the cost? Okay, this is what I want the cost to be on a monthly basis. And these people can easily collaborate to build something cheap and yet efficient. Also, we've touched the cost savings part and the scalability. No code is also going to like bring in a lot of scalability features because one of the problem I've noticed with a lot of startup and businesses that I've consulted for in the past is they all know how to provision until it is time to scale. When it is time to scale, you start hearing AWS cost. I need to move to another platform. I mean, AWS is, pay as you go service. So it's only what you provision that you get billed for. There's no magic happening anywhere. But with PipeOps and other no-code tools out there, we'll be able to manage this effectively and also compliant, right? I see a lot of people provision stuff, and I just see some funny security rules with proper balancing on the firewall rules. And it's just usually funny when you get to hear that most of these people maybe get attacked sometimes. So, and that's the fact that having to do all these things and still worry about compliance, believe me, it can be a lot at times, especially if you have like a big number of things. It can be tedious to manage all this thing on a large scale, right? But with tools like no code, right, it makes all this easier because come on, before anybody do anything, you already like you can see the audits, you can see what happened to this thing, to the state of this thing before this time. Basically a one-stop shop for all your infrastructure management. Um, so we've talked about this part, so I'm just going to skip this part. And moving on, thus creating a more inclusive environment that encourage innovations. Now we know code, right? It's safe to say that, as a DevOps engineer, as a developer, as a founder, I can comfortably, you know, sit, relax, and know that, okay, my infrastructure is running cheap and is running well. So that way I can be able to focus on what matters the most, which is building my product, speaking to customers, how I will take my product from 0 to 100. You see a lot of startups these days at the very early stage, the problem they start worrying about is how to scale, and we can't afford a DevOps engineer, right? And this is one of the problems that no code is also tackling as well. So let's speak on the future of the work. No code automation is poised to play a significant role in the future of work, particularly in the DevOps field. As organizations increasingly rely on technology to drive their business process, the demand for skilled DevOps engineers is growing. However, the supply of skilled DevOps professionals is not matching the pace at all. So basically, you see a lot of DevOps roles out there. But how many DevOps engineers do we have in Nigeria? I mean, we can all count ourselves here, right? Unlike the whole software engineer and where there's a lot of people there. So the demand is there, right? But the supply is not matching the demand. And this is where no code tool comes into play because individual DevOps engineer can now comfortably take jobs out there and just easily use PipeOps to manage it very fast and cheap. So moving on from this, no-code tool will help organizations reduce reliance on specialized skills and improve their ability to respond to changing business needs. So to buttress this more, um, you know, as a founder who is just growing his startup, right? A tool like this would really go a long way for me if I can't afford a DevOps engineer and I still want to scale at large. So tools like this will help me reduce my reliance on the specialized skills and improve my ability to easily respond to other things. And these also reduce misunderstanding by improving collaboration, help organizations reduce costs associated with manual tasks, and improve resource allocation. Also helps organizations reduce costs associated to, oh, sorry, I'll skip that. All right. Overall, no code automation is set to play a significant role in the future of work, enabling organizations to become more agile, responsive, and competitive in an increasingly technology-driven world. So here is the part where I get to show you guys a quick, amazing demo. But before we go into this demo, I would just like to paint a picture in our head. So, after we've talked about all these, Terraform, Polumi, and the likes that we use to provision. So imagine you want to provision now as a DevOps engineer, and all I need to do is just go to one platform, register, link my AWS account, and magically I click on create server. They are already pre-configured templates for me. I can choose whatever I want if I want to. I'll see my price in that, this thing you are provisioning on AWS, so will cost you so amount. Do you want to press it? If you want to press it, you create it, and instantly you watch your, flow. You watch the flow happen, and you see the logs. And now PipeOps will take your rules and provision them on your infrastructure with everything pre-configured for you. You don't need to worry about SSL, load balancing, all this stuff has been sorted out for you. So I'm just going to easily quickly go to the PipeOps demo. Uh, okay. One of the interesting feature that we have upcoming for PipeOps is the drag and drop provisioner. So imagine if you have a UI interface where you can easily drag from VPC to security rules to elastic load balancer to EKS to any form of to any cloud provisioning, either Azure or GCP, and you can easily drag and drop, connect the dots, and map out your infrastructure using a mind map kind of visual interface. And you can easily download this in any cloud from in any IAC tool of your choice, either Terraform, Volumi, or Cloud Formation easily. So this is one of the features that we have upcoming because this feature will help both DevOps engineer be able to um, do more at a very fast pace. And also from the drag and drop, you can choose to provision it through PipeOps as well, or download it to use it anywhere else. So okay, I guess we're good to go. So I'm going to log into a production account on mine. All right. So as we can, oh sorry, you guys can see the. Oh, okay. So as you can see now, this is my PipeOps account, and the PipeOps landing page and our documentation is currently deployed through PipeOps. So let me just walk you through how to basically provision a server, right? So provisioning a server through PipeOps, the no-code tool for DevOps automation, is as easy as clicking on the create server button. Like I said, right, you already have some pre-configured templates for you that you could easily use, right? As you can see, you said, do I want to provision a dev test or I want a production grade server? But because I'm an expert, right, and I'm proud, so I'll just go ahead and use view expert settings. Okay, okay, this viewport is terrible. Give me a minute. Aha. Okay, is it better now? All right, cool. So on the expert settings, I get to manage more advanced stuff. So basically, the idea of this is uh, an elastic Kubernetes service. It's not showing. It's too tiny. Okay, let me try and zoom in. How about now? Is it better? Now? Okay, awesome. So, like I said, right, uh, I get to see and manage all my stuff here. And the idea of what we do here is we provision an EKS cluster, basically. And under the hood, every necessary add-on that is needed for that server to work effortlessly is being installed on it. So you don't need to worry about SSL, load balancing, auto scaling, scaling horizontally, scaling vertically. You don't need to worry about that. All you need to do is just provision a server. there's a PipeOps agent that we wrote, and what that server basically does is it basically runs on your server and watch the event, make sure that everything is running accurately. The moment there's an inaccuracy in any data, it sends an event to the PipeOps runner, and the runner actually does give out the rules on the next line of action. It needs to do, okay, scale this thing, okay, put this thing down, okay, add additional server node to this particular server. So this is how we are going to, basically configure all these rules so that PipeOps can do what it does best, basically. So yeah, I'm going to pick a general purpose server, and I just want a 4 gigagram server. Storage 20 is fine because in my default node is 3, that's 20 times 3. So yeah, that's a lot, 60 gig. And the maximum node. So basically, this node group here, this is how we get your auto scaling rule, right? How you want to scale, right? And I believe most of us here are familiar with node group rules when provisioning an EKS or a GKE or an AKS cluster. So basically, we don't allow the minimum node goes past 2 because of scale. And yeah, your default node can be 2 as well, and the maximum node. So let me just easily configure that. And I also want to show us something, right? The moment I reduce my default node, we would easily see that the price changes due to my configuration, right, that I make. And let's watch now. The price is $135. So if I increase my default node to 3 and come back up, I can see how the price changes in real time. And I'll take it back. And my maximum node, I don't want to scale more than 3. And my region is London. So as you can see, right, here are the pre-configured add-on services on PipeUp: Sat Manager, Cluster Autoscaler, Metric Service, Silk Secrets, Ingress Controller, external DNS, and Prometheus, right, for metrics. So provisioning this server might take a while, about 20 minutes, thereabout. So I might not want to go ahead with it right now, but I can show us. So I won't go ahead to provision this because of time. So I will just move on to deploying a sample project and to show us how it works. So currently, like I said, we have the PipeOps landing page. We're running on PipeOps. Here's what your metrics looks like. Here you can see your detailed metrics on a particular project running, and here as well, you can view the memory usage in time series formats, CPU usage in time series formats as well. And yeah, and also the network IO pressure. So yeah, and we have the runtime logs where you view your runtime logs in real time, and we have events as well so that you can see the lifecycle events of what's happening to the deployment. And here we have the general settings where you can add your custom domain, the build settings page, source control, networking, environmental variable. I can do bulk edit or manual edit, and collaboration as well as resource and replication. So I'll just go ahead and deploy a project just to show us how this work. So this is me assuming that I have my server provisioned already. I've connected my GitHub repo, and I am ready to deploy a project to that server. So I'll pick new project. I'll select either web, worker, or job project. For now, I'll select web, select GitHub, and okay, Nitro code. So I'm just going to look for a quick HTML project that I can deploy. Something very quick. Just give me a moment. But instead, HTML is too simple. Let me go with a backend project. So I'll deploy a Golang demo. Proceed. So yeah, I get to pick a server of my choice. I'm going to go ahead with the default one. Proceed. See my environment, my summary, and proceed. And now this is where I get to select my framework. All right. So now, unlike the traditional way where you have to set up your whole CI/CD process, either using GitLab CI, Circle CI, worrying about writing all the CI templates. With PipeOps, all you need to do is link the repo and we subscribe to it. And deploying it is as simple as picking my framework, which is Golang, and is up here. And so we support Heroku build pack by default. So if your project already has that build pack file, it works automatically. But here I'm going to use Packito build pack for this and deploy the project. So let's just wait for this to happen. And yeah, the logs are coming in real time. And wait for it in about less than a minute. It should be done. And also with PipeOps, you don't have to worry about where you push your Docker images to, because we all read the news about Docker discontinuing the free plan. The image registry is handled for you. So yeah, the project is done deploying now. And so if I go to my runtime logs, I can see the logs. And if I view the project, I can see the project is live. And I can, just to test this is working, let's just say localhost. That URL does not exist, but let's just view it. And if we come here, we are going to see the logs in real time. So that's how swift and very fast it is to use PipeOps no code tool for DevOps automation. Thank you very much. As of today, right, you have to, let's say you provision an infrastructure, right? You need observability. Mm. You need to do log retention, metrics retention, so that you can easily debug, right, for your developers, right? And today that this is a problem where developers want to like see things that are running, right? But because you can't afford to use platform like Datadog, who gives you that one-stop UI, right? That restricted to how you can easily collaborate. Now this is where PipeOps comes in. PipeOps is that one-stop shop for everything cloud, right? From metrics to logs to observability. So you don't need to have this one here, have this one here, have this one here, secret manager here, this one here, scattered up and down. It's not efficient. But you have everything grouped in a one system. So yeah, that's the idea. And also why it's cheaper is PipeOps is a PaaS platform. We are deploying on your infrastructure, not our infrastructure. So you are using PipeOps as a tool. So basically, you're a DevOps engineer, right? But you're using PipeOps as a DevOps tool to make your life easy, right? So it's a PaaS platform. So we are only charging you for the little work we're doing for you while you're still the one doing the major work. Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, how do you monitor manual changes made on the console? Manual changes made on the console. Okay, so for example,
Then we also like working on support. We're working on a cloud scanner basically. What that cloud scanner does is everything we've provisioned, we have a trace log, right? And we'll constantly watch your object for changes. So if there's any changes, we can easily replicate it on our own end so that there's no version clash in between somewhere. So yeah, it's one of the things we have, on the pipeline. Thank you.
I use the tool just like this of PipeOps, but that does server provisioning on this cloud. So you've answered one question that it's just managing infrastructure. That is, you have your AWS account and everything, so everything can be deployed on your AWS account. So the pricing here, does it mean that's what you are going to collect for doing the job? You want $5 or whatever?
okay, so our price.
Plan, the startup plan, and the DevOps plan. So the developer plan is a free plan where you can just deploy to any of our servers for free. And if you want to pay for it to access more advanced stuff, you can do that. But for the startup plan, right, it's from $100 to like $300 and above, depending on the level you are, right? And basically, it's a PaaS platform, like I said, right? So unlike unlike you having to like go through the stress of handling things yourself, you could utilize a tool, code tool like PipeOps to easily like make this job 10x faster for you while you focus on doing what matters the most for you. I mean, we currently have most of our customers, using PipeOps, and since they have been using PipeOps, there has not been any sudden increase in cloud cost or maybe inefficiency or thereabouts. So you just handle all those nitty gritties so that you can have your day to yourself, not worrying about running back home for one downtime basically. So yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, yeah. Last. My name is Abdulrazak. So I just wanted to ask, you talked about a scanner, how to scan the changes you make on the console and replicate in your code. But I just wanted to ask if you have anything to control that thing, because there are some cases where you don't want to make any change. Maybe a change made by a junior developer in Canada, but you struggle with that in production. So is there anything that kind of like restrict people from making those things as opposed to just scanning and replicating it in the code?
Okay, so okay, so with PipeOps comes collaboration, basically. So that means you can actually invite someone into your PipeOps account and still be able to restrict what they have access to and what they don't. You can, one of the upcoming features that we're rolling out, I mean, in the next couple of weeks is environment group. So you can create an environment, call it local or dev environment, and you can add all the developers that you want to add. So any project that is under that environment would be seen to those people alone. So basically, you get to like control what you see. But speaking of the terminal part, we have our CLI coming up, and with our CLI, you can easily interact with your infrastructure directly. So what we aim to do through that is to achieve a lot of collaboration and limitations. So if you are added, on the dashboard, you have access on the CLI. You want to edit something manually. If you don't have access, it won't work. If you need to request access, a notification will pop on the admin's phone and will do what they need to do necessarily. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex. Please let's put the round of applause.